Mapping San Siro is an action research and action learning project promoted by the Politecnico di Milano in a public social housing neighborhood in Milan. San Siro was built from 1934 to 1956. Despite being located in a central part of the city, it is characterized by strong socio-spatial inequalities, intercultural and intergenerational conflicts. There is also a significant physical decay due to a progressive lack of conservation over time of the public housing stock. In 2013, Beatrice De Carli and I organized a university workshop in San Siro addressed to urban planning and architecture students. The workshop had been implemented in close collaboration with local partners and inhabitants. It focused on understanding and questioning the consistent forms of representation of the neighborhood, investigating three main issues: practices of coexistence and conflicts, housing tenure transformation, reactivation of empty and underused spaces. The output were the construction of shared maps, expressions of a situated and in-depth knowledge. At the end of the workshop, a group of about 20 people decided to develop further research and teaching activities on the neighborhood. This came from two emerging needs. On one hand, the necessity to build a pertinent representation of the neighborhood in order to make urban and social dynamics more understandable and to change the inhabitants' living conditions. On the other hand, to provide the local actors with tools for their action, fostering their awareness and empowerment. Over the years, the experience has been carried on with an approach in which the interplay between action learning and action research has been central, and in which the action-oriented approach has been a key element. The relationship between research and the pedagogical dimension is dialogic. People who have different degrees of maturity and experience work together and experiment a process of mutual learning. For example, students have the opportunity to work in close contact with the senior researchers and professionals in an innovative process of exchange. But how did we apply a situated approach in San Siro? By telling about our experience, I will give you some suggestions on how to experiment a situated approach. Our main intuition was that living in the neighborhood would help us to become familiar with the people and their living conditions. It has allowed us to be part of the community life, making ourselves recognizable. Indeed, through daily attendance, teachers and students have had the chance to participate in the social life and experience directly what occurs in the neighborhood. Therefore, in May 2014, the group asked the Regional Agency for Public Housing to provide a space to work and develop activities. A 30 square meters former shop available in Via Abbiati became our workspace. We called it 30 metri quadri. We freshed it up with the voluntary help of many students, friends and residents, and in a short time 30 metri quadri became a living place of exchange, interaction and dialogue between the university and the neighborhood. In this environment, students have the chance to learn and experiment new methodologies to deal with the social and urban issues, supporting the efforts of local actors. If I think of 30 metri quadri today, I can say that the space has acquired different roles and meanings, and over the years it has become a learning environment for both the university and the community. First of all, it is an observatory on the neighborhood's living conditions. On the one hand, thanks to the research activity, it has become an open and accessible archive of books, articles, reports and projects about the neighborhood and its transformation. On the other hand, thanks to constant dialogue with the locals, it has become a place where inhabitants' personal life stories and knowledge have been collected. A stable presence allows us to perceive shades of different phenomena over time. Daily life and challenges are better understood with a patient and situated observation activity. Secondly, the base has become a working space and a lab. Students can find an environment in which to develop their collective or individual activities and projects. In this equipped space, they can interact with inhabitants and local partners and produce tangible outputs, making them available to the community. For example, this map was realized by a student and it is now a very useful tool for local actors. Moreover, the lab is a place where students have the chance to act on concrete projects, designing and realizing micro-interventions. For instance, we were given the possibility to reuse some wood planters to upgrade some sidewalks, painting plants and flowers, sharing the cleaning and maintenance responsibility with the locals. Through a tangible action, the design activity is perceived as a transformative gesture, which leads people to take care of common spaces. Thirdly, 30 metri quadri has become a meeting place in which educational, social and cultural activities take place. We consider the space an open classroom, where activities normally held in schools and university, such as lessons, seminars, book presentation and so on, may involve not only scholars but also social actors and inhabitants. For example, at 30 metri quadri we organize public seminars called Caffè San Siro. They cover different themes and are accessible to everyone. Finally, 30 metri quadri is a bridge towards the external world. In a marginal context like San Siro, it is a chance to promote an exchange between locals and outsiders who bring different ideas, visions and perceptions. At the same time, the space becomes a device to give voice to local actors and inhabitants, making their requests and desires outside the neighborhood. To develop this bridging activity, we also organized local guided walks. This is a good way for an outsider to plunge into the reality of the context and into the inhabitants' personal histories and interact with them. Usually a local guide, who is an inhabitant or a local association member, guides the itinerary, supported by teachers and students. The aim of guided walks is to tell a story about places and identify relevant issues, starting from locals' voices and experiences. In conclusion, from my point of view, opening a space in a marginal context is a powerful tool in terms of learning and legacy. It gives a community more awareness of its capability to produce change, and it also gives students new skills, generating a virtuous cycle of civic growth. The space can be big or small, temporary or stable. It can be a container, a truck, a former shop. It doesn't matter. What is important is that setting a base means giving space to mutual learning activities and taking care of a shared space. Indeed, this is a sign of a responsible attitude toward a common good, which gradually influences the perceptions and behaviors of those who live around it.